The Detroit Lions have just agreed to a massive deal to retain quarterback Jared Goff through the 2027 NFL season. A massive 4-year, $212 million deal with $170 million guaranteed, according to NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero. And at $53 million per year, Goff's new contract makes him one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the entire NFL, only one step behind Joe Burrow in highest annual salary average, and it pushes Detroit's offseason spending and extensions well beyond $100 million, as they've also agreed to contract extensions for Penei Sewell and star receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, while Jared Goff is arguably one of the most consistent quarterbacks in the entire NFL, the question remains, why would the Detroit Lions agree to a contract to make Jared Goff, of all people, one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the entire league? Well, the answer is pretty simple. That is because Jared Goff, year in, year out, is that guy. That is not something that people want to hear. People want to look at one or two plays or one or two moments in his career and automatically write him off as someone who was never actually supposed to be the guy or someone who didn't live up to expectations. But the truth of the matter is, you go back and look at his record and you go back and look at the experience and leadership that Jared Goff has shown over his time in the NFL. This is the perfect guy to lead the Detroit Lions. You want to talk about someone who represents what the Lions are right now and the quarterback to bring the Lions a Lombardi trophy? He's the guy. Now, Goff was always touted as a high-level prospect coming out of the draft in 2016, and while his rookie year was definitely less than stellar as he went 0-7, had 5 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, you go and look at the rest of his career, it's hard to argue with the results. 11-4 in 2017, 13-3 in 2018, 9-7 and 9-6 in 2019 and 2020 respectively. This man achieved a lot of success early on in his career, and it was in part due to a fantastic system that Sean McVay and company had developed in Los Angeles. However, people like to write off Jared Goff as if he wasn't the one out there executing that system. And I'll grant you this, he wasn't always the most productive person on the field as far as stats go, but you look at his stats specifically in 2017 and 2018, there were not that many better quarterbacks in those years than Goff. He was top 5 in the league as far as the quarterback rating metric goes and, just overall performance. Like, this is someone who excelled at the highest level and in 2019 even helped his team get to a Super Bowl. That doesn't happen because a quarterback is mediocre. People want to say that this dude is Rex Grossman. That's just an absolutely asinine take. He's not Rex Grossman. He's Kurt Warner. And I'm not saying he has the same backstory as Warner does, but if you look at the way he produces on the field, there are a lot of things that are similar and remind you of Warner. The ability to push the ball down the field, especially in difficult situations, the ability to work in multiple different systems, and also, and this is a very important part that many people skip over, the ability to galvanize your team. Goff, like many quarterbacks, has made a lot of mistakes on the field throughout his NFL career. That happens. You're a quarterback. You are the guy who is trusted to throw that ball and put a shit down the field. You are eventually going to make mistakes. However, if you look at the way this man bounces back from adversity, I could argue that there's no one who does it better in the NFL right now. Let's go back. We talked about his rookie season, 0-7 to start. Then you go and he has the success that he has with the Rams, and they end up trading him away for Matt Stafford, a quarterback he will always be tied to because of that trade and because of the roots that Matt Stafford himself has in Detroit. But he gets traded for Matthew Stafford, basically run out of town, and everyone is talking about how he's not good enough. They are saying that he's only a bridge quarterback to whatever quarterback the Lions are going to draft in next year's draft. this is going to be one of the worst teams, one of the worst quarterback teams in all NFL history. Yet, in 2021, while the Lions were abysmal to begin the season, he showed poise. And regardless of the situation he was in, regardless of how badly they were losing, the one thing you could not say about Jared Goff is that he wasn't putting his butt on the line for all of his teammates week in, week out. He did that in 2021, which is exactly why they brought him back in 2022 and added Penei Sewell to build on that offensive line. And we saw a drastic improvement, not only in the team, but Goff's numbers. He went from throwing 19 touchdowns in 2021 to throwing 29 touchdowns to 7 interceptions in 2022, over 4,400 yards through the air. And in 2023, it all culminated in not only a playoff berth for the Detroit Lions, but a 12-5 season. They won the division, and they did it behind Goff's astounding numbers, 30 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and made it all the way to the NFC Championship game. And potentially, if it wasn't for a decision to go for it on a 2-point conversion, the Lions could be in the Super Bowl. And if it was a Chiefs and Lions Super Bowl, the Lions were the team that knocked off the Chiefs in week 1. So you can't say that they wouldn't have had a chance to actually win the game had they got there. But it's precisely because of this will and spirit that Goff has had the Lions exactly where they are. Not saying he did it alone. Dan Campbell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and everyone on that team contributed, but none of it would have been possible without the poise and the performance under pressure that Goff was able to have in those moments. And if you don't believe me, here's what head coach Dan Campbell has to say about his quarterback.
It's the way he's made. It's just, I think that's one of those traits that I believe he learned over time. Probably some of it. I don't know. Maybe his father. Maybe it started there. Just his experience, his time playing the game at a high level in big games, understanding what's coming next. But he does do a great job with it. Just really proud of him. And what he means to us and his play today. And I bring it back again. He's one of the reasons that we won this division, and he's another reason why we just won our first playoff game here in 30 years. So, what a stud.
It's clear from Campbell's words and honestly the vibe that you get from other Lions players that this is the quarterback they want, this is the quarterback they respect, and this is the leader they feel like they need. He's not always going to be the person giving rah-rah speeches and telling everyone off on the sidelines. He's going to lead by example. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. And Jared Goff is one of the NFL's toughest. And it's why he got paid all this money. It's why he has the Lions where they are. And it's precisely why I believe he is the perfect quarterback for the Detroit Lions. If you like this video, be sure to smash that like button and let me know what you thought in the comment section. Also, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Until next time, I'm Omri Q for Real Take Sports. Be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.